Oh my God, 28.
Well, you made it again. Look at you.
Hello,
Good job,
guys.
everybody.
Good job, everybody.
You guys are doing so great. I'm so happy for you.
I'm proud of us as a collective. Thank you so much.
Welcome to Soul Palate, y'all. My name is Capri Robinson.
And I am Dee. I'm going to stop telling you my fucking last name.
Oh, yeah.
Because
you know by now.
You already know what it is. So,
I'm Capri.
And I'm Dee.
We probably don't even have to assume.
At this point, people already...
Introduce themselves?
Yeah.
Do people introduce themselves?
They do every podcast just because you never know who's a new listener.
This
Not
is
everyone
so
starts
true.
at episode 1.
Yeah, I don't.
So...
I'll start at episode 100 if you let me.
So, see, I'm the type that goes back. I won't listen to every single one.
Yeah.
But I will go back and, like, pick through certain people's stuff. I'll either look at, like, a episode title or whatever and just click and listen or whatever, but...
I don't understand you could do that with podcasts. Like, it's not it's kind of a progression if there's some insiders, like jokes or something, but it's not a TV show. I can click.
You can click it. They all really should be different from one another. Unless you're listening to, like, some suspense shit or whatever. Because there are those podcasts, too. It's like reminiscent of, like, before there was TV and all the stories were on the radio.
Yeah.
There's podcasts like that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, if you are a new listener, welcome to Soul Palate. This is where we bring Black and brown people, i.e. ourselves, and some guests soon, to one table to taste spirits. We are trying to normalize the Black and brown palate, meaning we are trying to denormalize Eurocentric tasting grids, tasting notes, and kind of put ours to the forefront. And while we taste, we also talk about our lives, the world, the industry as a whole, the food and beverage industry, and we might talk some shit, a lot of shit. So this is what we do.
Yeah. Welcome. First we sip, bitch.
First we sip.
So we're doing rye whiskey today.
Okay.
You guys can go back to our bourbon episode to get all the legalities. We're just going to switch out that 51% minimum of corn and put rye in that place.
Yes.
So all things, it's got to be a minimum of 51% rye. The rest of the mash can be, whatever grains you want. Typically there's some sort of malted barley involved. And it's got to be aged in new oak. Straight whiskeys have to be aged for a minimum of 2 years. All the things. Feel free to go back to, I forget what the episode title is, but we were tasting bourbon. If you just want to hear more about, like, the legal stuff. But yeah, we're going to be doing rye. Some really fun ones.
Yes.
I didn't go, like, traditional rye with this at all. It's a variety.
I'm excited. Also, the episode is... Before this, lost episode.
Yes, there's a lost episode. So
episode 4.
Yes,
is the one that we tasted the bourbon on.
Episode 4, perfect. Thank you. So yeah,
okay.
Catch up. Well, there's not. I feel
Which way
like
we're
it's just been work. In terms of our catch up.
So what's
we're
first?
Tasting Stellum first.
Okay.
Stellum Single Barrel Rye.
Going this way again? Awesome.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, I'm pretty much always going to set it up that way.
Yeah.
That we just, in the order that our audience will be seeing this, if you guys are watching us on YouTube, it's pretty much the way we're going to be tasting it.
All right.
So it's from their left to the right, and our right to left. So
absolutely.
We've got the Stellum Single Barrel Rye. This was a seal box pick. I initially just meant to bring their flagship rye, but the labels look the same, so...
All right,
so got a nice little treat.
Every time we taste, we say exactly what's on our mind, because what you know is what you remember in your life, your experience, all collect together to bring what you smell and what you taste. So we say exactly what we think of immediately when we smell, and when we taste it, we say exactly what we taste. This way, you're not wrong. Whatever you taste is what you taste. No one can tell you if it's a wrong or right answer. And yes, here we go.
Personally, I like to talk my smells and taste through, because sometimes what I think I'm tasting or smelling or whatever may not exactly be that thing.
Yeah.
And so never feel like you can't say it out loud because you're not sure if it's right, because saying it out loud is exactly how you're going to figure out exactly what it is you're experiencing.
And also helps you work through what you think you're going on.
Yeah.
For me, immediately when I picked this glass up, I got blueberries. It's giving dark berries.
I was going to say, but not sweet ones though, because I'm getting tart.
Yes, absolutely.
Because I'm getting fruit, but I'm getting tart fruits.
Definitely like oranges and cinnamon, almost like a
definitely
bright
orange and
for
cinnamon.
me. Yeah. It's not.
And
spicy.
the orange peel, not even just the oil, like orange essence.
That cinnamon is like a raw cinnamon stick, not burnt, not charred, not grated, like a cinnamon stick, so kind of dry a little bit.
Ooh. Oh, according to the tasting notes from the distiller, we're like right on point.
Oh man, we can fucking call some whiskey. I tell you that.
No bullshit.
So y'all know me and my heartburn. So I'm gonna go ahead and just go ahead and get into.
Take a drop or two because we are working with some 116 proof.
One more.
Yeah, let me get one more little. Thank you.
Yeah. This is what
116.
Ooh.
Not so bad.
Not for D.
All
right, here we go.
Give y'all some sound effects.
Definitely more spices. Brown sugar.
It's
maybe
even like
orange
mulling
juice.
spices for me.
What's that?
So it's like an assortment, like allspice, clove, cinnamon, nutmeg, like all that shit you would basically put to make like blue wine or whatever to like make a spiced wine.
Absolutely.
It's giving all those.
Absolutely. I agree 100%.
Still get orange oil.
I feel like it's kind of juicy to me. I think it's orange juice here for me. Freshly squeezed, not cold.
Because it's brown. That's so specific.
I know.
That is so fucking specific.
You work in a bar and you're squeezing your orange juice. You know exactly what I'm talking
not
about.
Cold. It was so definitive.
I'm feeling it in my soul
shit.
that's what it's
great.
like. Yes.
I love it.
That is delicious.
So, this is a 95% rye mash, 5% malted barley.
Nice. All right.
I definitely get that malted barley in there too. I get that pepperiness that usually comes from like the high rye content.
Sure. Definitely.
It's good. I'm not mad at it. But I will say this. I wish I would have brought the small batch to compare because I actually like the small batch better than the single barrel. This is not, and I mean, I know how Blake goes. He kind of deviates away from what you would expect to get from whatever the category is. And this isn't giving, like usually in a rye you might get some chocolate undertone, maybe a little coffee, something like that. Whereas we don't get any of that in this one. So that's probably why he picked it.
Nice. Okay.
But their small batch rye, it gives a lot of that. Like the dark fruit, the chocolate, the coffee, that type of thing. So,
ooh, yeah. I am a big girl.
So now I gotta compare
coffee and chocolate, y'all.
Coffee and chocolate, episode 1.
Okay.
New listeners, episode 1.
Yes.
Okay. Alright, so what you been up to besides work? Or has it just been work?
I'm like, what? Besides work? Working. No. So this week has been filled with trying to get donations for the competition, talking to venues, and just putting everything together. We released our top 10 this week, so that was exciting as hell.
Yes. I'm excited about the group we have. I hope everyone is able to like make this.
Yes. We haven't gotten all the confirmations, but I hope so too. Okay. Like I really, really do. Because this is really just going to show really, I mean, last year did, but it was virtual. So you couldn't really tell how national this really is.
Yeah, exactly. Now we get to bring people in.
Literally bring
have them in
in
a house together, which we did. Well, not the first year because that was.
But we only had
the second year.
Yeah, we only had cheese that was from.
That's what I was going to say. We did bring someone in, but it was one person.
Yeah,
so I think the dynamic will be so fun this year. I really hope
excited.
So.
I
really hope so. I think it'll be a good time.
I just think we have such a good lineup, and all the brands are so willing to work with us, and just. I'm really excited. I mean, we still need more money, but like, it's cool. We're always doing more money.
We'll get some.
I mean,
we're just coming in.
I appreciate the brands. At the end, I'll tell you all how much we were able to raise within this time, which was I started kind of late, so I'm really happy of where we already are. So,
so we have a charity barrel that's supposed to be coming in, but the distillers have been really slow on that. Usually we would have had it by now, so there's moving.
Because we already picked it. Right?
Nice. Yeah, we picked it already. So
I can't wait for y'all to see another Chocolate City's Best bottle coming out.
I know. I'm gonna make another sticker too. So
okay, so like the next pick, can we go in person? Like when this like do that.
That's the goal. So I will put that bug in his ear so that he can, when he's already playing, cause it's like every week he's like either in New York or he's in Kentucky or Ohio or like. But I don't be the one ahead of time when this shit is happening. Sure. I have made it actually on the ground for one pick. Yeah. No, for two, but that was because he came here for that one. Right. And we were picking through Prestige and stuff, but the other one was the new Riff pick. And so, yeah, I keep telling him I want to go more of these things, but I know he also does this by just using like straight points when he travels. So he's not coming out of pocket for shit. Yeah, yeah. So it's different when he's traveling. It's not for free because he earns the points, but when he's essentially getting, just swapping shit out for points and not coming out of pocket for anything, he can't always guarantee that for me. Yeah. So, I just want to make sure when we're able to go, it's like a good significant one or whatever. Like, but yes, we will be having a Chachi's Best bottle coming out soon, and it is not the same distillery as last year. Last year was New Riff. This year it'll be a different distillery. So I'm excited about that.
Yes, I love that so much.
So yes, competition's coming up, y'all. October. It's like the 4th through the 2nd week, technically, of October.
First week.
Cause
first full week.
What's the first full week? Oh,
it's very soon.
I was going to say October starts in the middle of the week that previous week.
3 weeks away.
Whoo, child. That's coming fast.
Yes, it is.
I get my second little prick on the first.
But then I go to Aruba.
Yes. I'm so jelly that you're going to Aruba. That is on my list. I can't wait.
Look, y'all, I'm trying to make it out of the mainland at least twice a year.
I love it.
I know Puerto Rico's a part of us, but I made it to Puerto Rico this year. Mm-hmm. Got over that water, and now we're going to Aruba. This is going to be the closest
I love that.
I've ever been to South America.
What are their COVID requirements right now?
Oh, I should probably look at that up. I don't know. I have no idea.
But once you're vaccinated, if you could not care less, but
I got my
there's
proof.
less that you have to like account for in terms of like.
I got my proof. Well, getting into Puerto Rico,
if you're vaccinated, they're not requiring as much testing or whatever. Like
I'm still gonna get tested. Countries. I still get tested before I go on a flight, before I travel. Like I do that, and when I come back, period. Like
I don't think testing should ever like not be a part of the equation, a part of the regular
I might get these home tests soon, but I'm not sure how really accurate those things are.
Are they PCR or are they mouth swab?
I don't really know. Like, is it like I do it at home and then I send it somewhere and then it comes back?
No, I think it's like you put it in something and the results of it should tell you whether or not you're negative or positive.
Right, we're gonna have like
all
fucking
we do is stick shit in a tube.
Virtual like mirrors in our houses, so like if I could do our doctor checkup soon.
No bullshit, scan your fucking pupils and shit and tell you what's wrong with you and shit. Ooh,
that's crazy.
I don't ever want those days. I want some shit to stay old school. I don't know.
Never. That wouldn't be life if it did. It would.
Some shit is just too much. Now you got my whole biometrics and shit into some database and shit. Like, I don't want all that. That's the next closest thing to a fucking chip in my skin. I don't want it. I don't want no parts of it.
The closest thing to a chip in our skin is actually our phones.
You're right about that. You're right about that. Mm-hmm. They scanning our faces and shit. They got our thumbprints and shit, fingerprints and all this shit is already saved somewhere.
I'm telling you.
And we don't even know what they're allowed to sell to the government or give to the government or not. Because nobody actually reads the terms and conditions and shit. Ooh, you know what? That's what
People are bringing movies to life, y'all. Why do they say the military just formed their first Iron Man?
Oh, God.
Y'all, they got a fucking...
Oh, God. Art imitating life, imitating art, imitating life, imitating art, imitating life, imitating art. We don't know where the circle begins or ends. Because we don't know where Marvel gets their insight from, who's just really high, has a great imagination, and who actually has who's some retired military something who just is selling this information as a consult. Like, we don't know. We will probably never know. I tell
people all the time.
Until a documentary on Netflix comes out 20 years later with all the secrets.
The way that social media has, I know I'm jumping all over the place kind of, but it's all the same thing. But the way that social media has become a way of making income and popularity, and like you need to have this amount of followers. I read about this progression of social media and its influence in a saga called Pretties, the Uglies, the Pretties, the Specials, the Extras. If you've never read it, I'm telling you right now,
Where is
completely.
Is it an article?
It's a whole book. It's
book?
It's 4 books,
Okay.
and I read this back in high school, freshman year. Not for school, but just because I was reading.
Yeah. I'm surprised something like that came out that soon.
This is what I'm talking about, though. So every time I look around me, I'm literally like, I've read the progression of this. Like the lives, the IG lives they talked about, you know, you being like first to an event and the first thing you're doing is like going on live. Like, I'm telling you, y'all, shit's crazy.
I find all of that shit to be exhausting. I don't know if I'm ever gonna be that person. I will get a boomerang. I might capture the junk real quick, but I probably won't even post it until I'm actually settled and seated and like whatever. Like have a moment to actually be on my phone. But like, I've always tried to make it a point not to do those things. Like, not to like to be in the moment through my phone.
I can't do it.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that person that like is habitually doing that. Like my phone is typically in my hand because I am reading emails or like reading an article or I have to post something for something or I'm working on something that has to go get posted somewhere or whatever. But like for personal use and stuff like that, like that's why my personal Instagram is like really just regurgitated shit for my Still page.
Seriously,
because I just post the same shit to both at the same time. I don't have the energy for all of that.
You see,
I damn sure don't have the attention span.
My first few posts is still the motherfucking incident. Like you come to my shit, you're gonna see that I went through something. And here it is. I was actually thinking about putting the other.
See that I went through some shit.
I'm trying to. I'm actually over here like debating on when I'm gonna put up these other shits that I really want to talk about. These comments and these.
You should talk about it.
Oh, I am. I'm just like, am I ready? You know.
Girl, are you ever gonna be ready?
No, but I think I should do it after the competition. I'll probably do it like probably this week coming up then. Because I need to go through the emotional stress.
After the competition, we posting recaps from the competition.
Yeah.
Which would be a series of posts in themselves.
Right, exactly. And then Aruba. I need to get it all done before Aruba.
Get it done before vacay.
Yeah. Because I think, even though I'll go with my mom and my sis, it's going to be great. Actually, we need to figure out what the fuck we're going to do. I'm definitely going to have a lot of alone time.
Nice.
If they allow me. I've never traveled with my mom and sister before, so this is going to be first.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Huh. And we're choosing
and everybody's
to go
adults
out of
and everybody's...
Yeah. It's kind of weird. I'm excited.
It'll be great.
It's going to be fun.
Great little bonding trip. I like it.
My mom is great now. I forgot.
That is a whole other podcast topic.
Yeah, we'll talk
I think
about
we
that.
should have a mom pod.
Sorry. So that first few minutes was about all the things that.
It's part of the catch-up, honey. It's part of the catch-up.
I can talk conspiracy forever. I really try not to talk to people about it, but I go through it.
Because it's like there's just it's such a black hole. Like it's so easy to just go down a rabbit hole. Plug.
Plug.
That's hilarious. Okay, Rabbit Hole is one of our brands. That was sidebar, y'all. All right, before we get into what's tea, let's do the second sip.
I was thinking the same thing. All right, we got this is the new John, ain't it?
Yes, this is we got another Blue Run bottle for y'all. Now this is the latest release. This is their Golden Straight Rye.
Green
Why
again.
It's golden? I can't tell you.
Can someone let us know why rye bottles have green on them?
Yes, so that's one of the things I find really like cool. So anybody looking at the YouTube will see like the different colors and stuff like that happening on the bottles. But so usually you'll almost always find rye in terms of labeling and stuff like that. The color association will almost always be green or some form of green. Usually, if the brand has multiple expressions, they're not just making rye, usually their differentiation in terms of color is going to be that it's green, as opposed to like orange or red, which is usually associated with bourbon.
Yeah.
And then usually like any sort of like specialty expressions or whatever usually has some sort of white or blue or something like that incorporated. So so I think that's interesting. We're going to find out why, if there's anything even written about that in terms of why. But I find that to just be super interesting.
Yeah.
It's also the easiest way for me to differentiate at work. how to quickly go to something if you're looking for something from a specific distillery, and it is and it's a rye expression from that distillery. Look for the green label. That's where you start, and then you actually read that label. Thank you so much.
All right, so here's the blue run.
So it's 95 proof. It's probably one of the lower proofs that we have on this lineup right now. I'm going to read a little bit about it. So Blue Run's small batch golden rye whiskey is Blue Run's inaugural rye expression, named for both the distinct color of the choice grains that were used in the creation process and the accolades that the whiskey has garnered. How cute. Okay. Most notably, gold medal winner at the San Francisco World Spirit Competition.
Oh, wow.
I'm not going to read the tasting notes. Don't influence me, damn it.
All right, I'm getting cherries, orange. I feel like this
tart cherry too.
Yeah, when I first smelled it, it gave me that like fermentation tank kind of smell. If that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. Like that kind of soury, doughy type of.
Yes.
Someone that's never smelled inside of a fermentation tank, it's a lot of sour notes. A lot of doughy, bready notes.
And you can't put your face right on top of it or you'll pass out. That's the off of it is. Or the alcohol steam is coming. Yeah. And stuff. Will knock you out, literally. I did it on accident.
It's kind of giving powderiness. Did it knock you out?
No, but I got really
lightheaded.
Powdery as in.
Not like baby powder?
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure it out.
Powder, like, I feel you. Like powder, I don't want to say milk.
Yeah, not powdered milk, because it's not super fragrancy, like in a distinct way, but it almost, like what I'm picturing in my head is like a fresh rubber ball, right? Like the powder that bounces off of it.
Okay.
That has a light kind of smell to
Absolutely.
it. But it's not super distinct or like pungent at all.
Yeah.
It's kind of, that's the picture that happens that is in my head when I smell it.
I would think even just like if you guys have ever had the candy sticks where you lick the stick and then dip it into a candy powder, just the dust,
just the dust, not the
actual powder itself.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, we'll go.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Because it's that white chalky.
Because it's not that concentrated, that flavoring of that candy.
Yeah.
It's whatever the remnants that come off of that like go into the air inevitably when you crack open the bag or container or whatever.
Yeah.
It's that. Sorry, y'all. That's real specific, but that's what it's giving.
That is what it's giving. That's crazy. It is what it's giving. Oh, this is 95. I probably can do it. I can probably do it.
I can probably do it. I see the drop with this.
That's good. Red hot.
Definitely got artificial cinnamon. Like,
yeah.
Interesting.
It ends in a dark, dry chocolate note.
I was going to say the chocolate is there. It's like an undertone.
That is not bad. I'm still going to lose water. That's not bad at all.
My bullshit. Because it's just odd about it.
Oh my god, this reminds me of Nine Perfect Strangers. Oh, Jesus. When they dosing people.
Oh my god, yes.
Spoiler alert.
Just a drop.
Oh Jesus. Oh no, that bitch is on something else.
She's on some other shit.
White women are always doing things for themselves. I know y'all hear me. You're always doing things for yourself.
I know y'all hear me.
Think to yourself, am I doing this for myself? Am I doing this thinking that it's for someone else, but it's actually for gratitude of me?
For me? Exactly.
I think about
my shit through them.
Do you have that question? I've seen too many white people.
Yeah, that red hot is very popular. And it slowly fades. Yeah, it slowly fades and kind of like evaporates on your tongue.
Yeah.
Into almost the texture of like pink bubble gum, like that pink powdery bubble gum.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
And then that's where that dry dark chocolate comes in.
That is delicious.
Yeah, that's good.
I actually really like it.
I'll take this over the bourbon.
I agree.
I'll take that over the bourbon.
Wait, have I had the bourbon?
Yeah, we tasted that on the bourbon episode.
Oh shit! So yeah, yes.
Shit. That's hilarious.
So what's tea?
Who girl? So I was just randomly perusing articles and things, just having random thoughts, and I was in the car today on the phone with Rob.
Yeah.
And we had because I came across an article, got on the topic of like how different it is specifically to dating bartender.
Yes.
Which I didn't realize that was such a different thing, because when I saw the article come across, I was like, you date a bartender like you date anybody in any other fucking industry. Like, what you mean? The fuck, humans are humans, but apparently no, that's not the case. So, first of all, 2 particularly funny articles popped up from the same source, which I just thought was comical as fuck.
Yeah, like, why are we talking about this twice? This must be a thing.
Like, so one of them is, what is it like to not what is it like to date a bartender? 7 reasons you should never date a bartender. And the other one is advice on dating bartenders. So they called it 10 Commandments for dating a bartender.
Oh, the first one on the advice. This is So
go ahead and read the first one. We're gonna start with the commandments.
We're gonna do the advice. Okay, we're gonna do the advice first. Thou shalt not indulge in jealousy.
Oh.
First and foremost, let me give you a 101 right here. Bartenders have bartender ears and bartender eyes. What does this mean? Mm-hmm. We are constantly scanning the room, listening to things that we don't even need to be listening to, not on purpose, that we just have to be this hyper aware when we're working, so we're hyper aware when we're not. Yeah. I have run into, and I've also talked to other bartenders who have run into, when we're with someone that, you know, we're involved with, them being like, why are you looking at other, like, men or women? Why are you searching for someone else? I'm right here. Pay attention to me.
That is not how that works.
That's just,
it's like, force of habit.
It's even force of habit. Also, if you're living in a city like DC, where you could probably go somewhere and know everyone in the room, sometimes you're checking like, oh, do I know this person? Like, do I know who's walking in? Not on purpose, but like, if it's a bar, you probably know who's fucking walking in, and you're aware of that. But like, I was talking to my friend, and he was like, yeah, my girl, like, that shit got me in trouble on our first 2 dates. That she thought I wasn't paying attention to her. I was like, man, I got into an argument with my ex about that shit. Like,
what was the argument about? Like, I didn't even understand how
every time we're out, you looking around for someone else, you looking at other men, da da da. I'm like, how
do you know what my eyeballs are actually looking for? And are you in my cornucopias? I don't understand. I know it's corny, y'all, so don't do it. But nigga, are you within these? Because how do you know that I'm looking at men?
It was a whole argument. I'm like, what are we talking about? When you try to project your
insecurities,
imagination upon me, it doesn't sit well with me, and I'm gonna argue with your ass because you're not gonna tell me what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because I know for a fact that I scan a room. I am paying attention to you. I do checking your eye, but then I'm going back to talking at the room. Mm-hmm. Almost. That's really how I talk. So like, I don't know, but. Don't indulge in the jealousy.
Don't indulge.
If
you know you're a jealous person, maybe just don't date somebody where either the personality type is that they're very outgoing and just happen to know a lot of people in workrooms and stuff like that. Don't date that person, period. Yeah. Or don't date somebody who's in a social industry. Yeah. Even if they're more introvert, like I'm a more introverted person, but I know how to turn it on at work. Like I'm social when I'm out.
Yeah.
If you're not into somebody being social when they're out, which is awkward as fuck, when you want them to just sit in a corner with you, but whatever, maybe you do, and you need to date that person.
Yeah.
And y'all can be hermits together.
I'm not a hermit. I love my alone time. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But you are a social person when you're out. Before COVID, like the industry was very huggy, touchy.
Very much so.
Especially when you start drinking, then you're definitely rubbing on people.
You're hugging people.
You know, rubbing.
That extra embrace and shit. God damn, my arm is sore. What the fuck? She wanted me, but shit. It threw me off. No, bitch, I got pricked today.
Oh, yes.
Girl, yes. Prick the shit out of me.
Yeah, it would be sore.
Alright. Tidbit of advice number 2. Commandment number 2. Thou shalt not visit unannounced.
I don't like this one.
I have mixed feelings on that one.
Yeah.
I'm dating someone exclusively.
Come on.
I like the pop-up.
Please drop it on me.
Especially if we're texting whatever and I mentioned to you it's slow and I'm bored or whatever. If I have time to even text you,
right.
Go ahead and pop up.
Drop it.
Definitely drop it. Come see about me.
I like when someone I'm into is watching me bartend.
I like when someone I'm into pops up on me.
Yeah, like okay.
And not in a weird, you're trying to catch me in something type of way. Like, agreed. Just in a way that you want to surprise me. Yes. You want to see my face.
Now, when you come, though, you can't, especially if I'm
Don't expect all the attention to be on you.
Yes.
You got to be okay sitting there by yourself or invite a friend or whatever.
Literally just watching me. Like, I want you to understand you're watching me because I'm working.
Yeah, exactly. I can't stand it and entertain you.
Yeah.
But make sure you're taken care of.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what I do.
Period.
Now, I definitely have had instances where I've worked in certain bars where I don't want somebody popping up with me unannounced. Because you just never know who else is going to be sitting there.
Yeah. Seriously.
And I don't feel like the bullshit. So I've had those phases too. But it just depends on who you are.
Yeah.
Whether or not you need to be popping up unannounced. But you know the vibes.
Ooh.
When it is appropriate for you, you'll know. At this point, I ain't gonna worry about that, but...
Period. Thou shalt not visit every shift. This kind of goes into the second one. Once again, not every shift, but...
Don't come to every fucking shift. Because then I'm looking at you like, you
got nothing else to do?
I'm definitely thinking like, what were you doing before you started dating?
You gotta have something else to do.
For sure. Please be busy elsewhere sometimes. At least sometimes.
Yeah. Which goes into number 4, which is...
Thou shalt be independent.
Absolutely. Yeah. I just need this for myself in general. This is not even a bartender thing. I need you to have a lot of independency because I have
that's why I also feel like this is a human thing. This is not just an industry thing.
Yeah.
Because there could be some very codependent bartenders out here that definitely want, for the sake of them knowing where their partner is, would like them to show up every shift.
This is true.
Like where you gotta work and you're probably gonna be there 12 hours, but that 12 hours you're distracted thinking about what the fuck your partner's doing. So they might like it if their partner shows up. At least some like part of their shift or you know, at the end of their shift, like if they want to know where they're going or after that and want to make sure they're accountable for where they're going after that and all that shit. So that's a person thing.
I agree for sure.
But Ross said it is definitely different dating a bartender.
We'll see.
Mainly the hours, she said.
Thou shalt have a flexible bedtime.
Which, good say do. Bitch, yes, because when me and I first started dating, it was like, our mutual bedtime was like 2, 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
It was like, she would either wait for me to get off work, or meet me at work, or meet me at my house, or whatever. Yeah. We'd be up watching Netflix, like, we would go to my fucking New York Fried Chicken, because it's 24 hours. Ooh. Crush. And watch Netflix for like hours. Because I didn't have to wake up to the afternoon the next day. But that is definitely true.
It's really big. Also just like, it's okay if you sleep when I come home. I'll see you.
I'm okay with that. I'm also okay with that because I wake up in the morning anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm not the type to sleep till 1 o'clock. I couldn't if I wanted to.
This new life I got, I close at 10, so I'm usually out by 11. So I still have time to hit bars if I want to or whatever before they close. So, but ain't nobody checking for me.
Always close that early, or is that
no? They were doing post-COVID. They were doing midnight before COVID, and then 2 a.m. Friday and Saturday. 2 a.m. is still the same thing.
Okay.
But
I like the 10 o'clock close.
I like the 10 o'clock a lot too. We actually had a really great day yesterday. It's time we did a $2,000 night on Thursday. I haven't done that in a while. So,
love that.
But yeah, like I love. First off, all the adult things are happening in this hotel. I have fucking benefits now.
Yes, bitch.
And I get home before midnight.
I love it.
What?
That's my type of that is the type of bar job that is ideal.
Yeah.
Where you have pay that you can count on.
Pay that I can count on.
Benefits, which I think that should just be across the board.
We really got to get into
that. There needs to be. There needs to be that. There needs to be some sort of support packaging for that enables businesses, even small ones, even private bars, whatever, that are not a part of a big restaurant group or hotel or whatever. Like, there has to be a way to make that
absolutely
accessible. If COVID does nothing else, it is how important the hospitality industry is. So there needs to be a way, even if it's to sustain people. and not treat us like second class fucking citizens.
Legit.
Meanwhile, you know how much people depend on hospitality?
Legit.
The fuck? Anyway, we going off from
Crazy.
with it, but I think it's great. I love Allegory for You. I think that was like the perfect transition job for you.
Legit.
Like,
they all
the universe will be normal.
It lines itself up. I know I don't want to do anything after this, but own a bar after this one. I don't know if I can work another bar.
At this point, where I'm at right now, the only other thing that's appropriate as a next step is just ownership in something else.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not really interested unless it's like some sort of partnership, whether it's a brand or like something like that, or like for us maybe like with a network or whatever. Like, something like that is different. It's appropriate. It makes sense. But in terms of like,
I mean, this is forever
just looking for the next thing to be somebody's employee or whatever, I'm not interested.
Right.
Not really.
Absolutely.
It's got to make sense.
Yeah,
for sure. Okay, number 6.
Yes.
Thou shalt not make holiday plans.
This is so real. I'm sorry. I'm a person that works on the holidays.
I stopped doing that.
Yeah.
I stopped doing that. Even when I was working full time behind the bar, I stopped doing that.
And it says here, don't expect your boo home for all the holidays. At least not all the holidays. This is true.
Yeah, not
sometimes
every single holiday. Not all of them really matter to me. I'm absolutely taking off Christmas just because that set family time, that's when all of my little bit of family is guaranteed to be available at the same time.
Okay, that's true.
So I'm not compromising that.
Right.
Other silly shit, like, I don't really give a fuck if I work on like Labor Day. I don't give a fuck if I work on July 4th.
Right.
Like those type, I don't care about that.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, you got me fucked up and not working.
I'll work
on Thanksgiving.
I'll work at Thanksgiving, but I don't know how Eden's gonna be. We'll see how that works this year. But I'm usually the one that's like, go ahead and give me. I'll work the holidays because my birthday's around the corner and I take that shit off.
You take it off, and my birthday counts as a holiday for me.
So
I'm taking off that's my other non-negotiable.
Yeah, my birthday's in February and I know a bitch is ready to travel. I mean, I'm traveling all the time, but I take the L of y'all go, not the L because my family's alright, but like y'all go see y'all family, do y'all thing. I'll hold the fort down, and when y'all come back, I'm gone.
Facts.
Super facts. And that shit is buku bread. It shit is money because motherfuckers. First off, Thanksgiving is the number one drinking holiday, hands down. The day before Thanksgiving, actually, because motherfuckers are dealing with
all types of shit.
Just facing their
family shit, just get triggered by shit. All shit you probably avoided this entire 11 months prior.
We'll see how shit
right there on the dinner table. I know I'm definitely doing Thanksgiving at my house again this year. That shit's great.
Oh,
I ain't got to go nowhere. I can just go down to my kitchen. Got 2 ovens. We can make all the turkeys.
Let me show you. I can show you these people's new house. This couple that I follow. Damn, how can I? I'm sorry.
It'll come back to you. You're not thinking about it. Another one I also, it's a toss-up whether I work at New Year's. If I'm getting if the pay is right, I work in New Year's.
I try to stop working New Year's. I don't want to go into the New Year working. I want to go into the New Year having a great time. That is what I found myself doing because
if the event's worth it, I'll work it because I can have a good time bartending. Especially if it's like by 11 something, everybody's so shit faced anyway. There's barely anything they're expecting from me except from the top off the champagne. So if you're gonna pay me double the rate just to top off your champagne for the last hour,
if the pay is right, maybe. But I
it's gotta be because I do like to be going into the new year with a nice hefty check. I'll take it because then I get to chill the rest of that week.
We'll see. What day does that fall on this year?
That's a weird question. I have no idea. What is time?
I saw a post and it was like 2022 is in 4 months. I was like, fuck you.
No bullshit. I hate those people. Stop calling out the time clock.
Oh my god.
He got the same calendar. Shut the fuck up.
Thou shalt not be a bad tipper. Period.
I will absolutely. And I'm looking at the first day to see how you tip.
One, I do this to my family. I curse them out about some motherfucking tipping. So much so that my sister calls me. She's like, Mama, she's like, I know that I'm supposed to tip well, but like, I had, she goes through all her scenarios, and I was like, okay, I see your point here. I said, regardless, I still tip a good tip, and then I go and talk to a manager, or like, if it was that bad to the point that these people need to get their shit together, I'm talking to someone. I tipped.
I'm talking to somebody. I'm not gonna automatically like give somebody 20%, 20+%. Not doing that. depending on how you treat me, I might not even make it to getting the receipt in order to tip you anything.
Yeah.
Because if it's that bad, I either need somebody else tending to me or I'm gone.
Yeah.
But if it's bad, but not so bad that I need to leave or switch you out for somebody else, I might leave 15, I might leave 10. Just depends on how you are behaving. But I'm not leaving with 0. Yeah. And I might leave you with a little note just to let you know.
Yeah.
What the fuck the problem was. And then I'm talking to your boss. I'm doing all the things because I want you to know.
Yeah, I'm a 20% tipper regardless. Unless if your place is saying automatic is 18, you getting that 18, bro. I'm sorry. Because honestly, you should never put no automatic on me in the first place.
Exactly. I hate the automatic tip thing.
I was going to tip you anyways.
Exactly.
I understand it. I understand why people need to do
they
it.
Can't exactly control how other people are going to tip and all that. So
it's like, some people's solution for, the tip wage gap and all this other stuff. So it's like, you
to make it automatic so they can at least depend on that percentage.
Right.
Which makes sense. But, and that just comes down to the individual. Because the only thing I hate about that is certain people, because it's already worked in, don't feel like they have to provide good service.
Right.
And that bothers me. But that's just an integrity issue.
Yep.
So.
It is. But, if you are one of those people that get automatic tips, you still need to give good hospitality, bro. Like,
it is not make you exempt from having to provide hospitality.
It doesn't. At all whatsoever.
Bruh. Alright, bruh. Thou shalt be neither alcoholic nor teetotaler. Teetotaler? What the fuck is a teetotaler?
What is that?
Teetotaler. Child. Teetotaler. Teetotaler. I don't know what the fuck that is. We're going to look that up.
Yeah, look that up.
Let's see. Let's do the Googles real quick. I'm going to tell y'all what a teetotaler is. It is a person who never drinks alcohol. This is a real word dictionary. Okay.
Oh, wow. Never drinks.
It's
so a sober person?
Like teetotaler.
A sober person?
Basically a sober person. Why do you have to say teetotaler?
That's weird.
All right, y'all. Well,
a non-drinker bartender relationship.
I can agree with that too. I don't want you to be a full-on lush, but it's kind of no fun if you're all the way sober. Not fun for me, because I don't want to be that person that comes across as the drunk just because you don't drink anything. And I ain't got time for the judgment that is inevitably going to ensue, because I ain't about to curb because of you. So. We're just gonna be having 2 completely different experiences together. I don't really want that. I kind of want a shared experience. I don't want to be fucked up all the time.
Right.
But if I'm having a glass of wine, I want you to have a glass of wine with me.
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
If you're a beer person, have a beer, whatever you're into, but have something. You can only have one. I don't even care if you just have one. Just sit something with
something. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's gotta be balanced.
It's gotta be a balance.
Thou shalt be fairly social. That's true.
A little bit. Just give me something. I was definitely with somebody that was, he could be social, but it was not his forte. It wasn't good.
Yeah, don't be socially awkward.
Yeah.
And also don't be a fucking attention hound. Because if you're if you feel like you gotta be the fucking life of the party every fucking where, I don't like that either. I get exhausted by that time.
If you are just naturally the life of the party, I don't mind personally. But if it feels like you're definitely trying to do the most to be
the life of the party, yeah.
I don't know.
If you're a good time and people just gravitate towards you, that's a little different.
Right,
That's a little different. But if you constantly got to be in the entire middle every fucking time.
It's our tacos, guys. Our tacos are here.
Not into it. Okay. Now, we have our last, let's do our third sip before we say our last commandment. So right now we are about to sip on, this is my first time trying this one.
Rabbit Hole.
The Rabbit Hole Boxergrail Straight Rye. I don't know what the fuck that means, the Boxergrail part. I don't know. Now let's see. So it's a Kentucky Straight Rye.
Okay, so.
They've added malted barley to the mash.
Okay.
Oh, this is another one. 95% rye, 5% malted barley. Let's see how this one differs from Stellum.
Okay.
Okay, guys. So this is an interesting little tidbit. So we've got 2 ryes, same percentage mash bills. So Stellum is 95% rye, 5% malted barley. Rabbit Hole is the same. However, they are completely different, obviously. This one's going to be, I think, primarily Indiana-based rye. Then we've got Rabbit Hole, which is out of Kentucky. I'm pretty sure whatever finishes or barrels that they were probably different.
Yeah. Awesome.
So this would be an opportunity for some variation. This is sweeter already off, but
yeah, I was getting chocolate covered cherries.
Yep.
Like the chocolate you have.
Very like milk chocolate too.
Yeah. Wow.
One thing I really appreciate about my brain
So different.
is that my thoughts are all very visual. Like it's either a photo or some sort of like almost like a movie clip or whatever. Just because when you say chocolate covered cherry, immediately I'm like picturing like if I were to bite it, how that chocolate cracks and then you just automatically it's that the whole sensory experience.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All that. I think it's weird that we see it while seeing.
I think it's so cool. Like it's how I'm able to remember things easily. Like I have to associate it with some sort of visual. I really think I might have a little photographic memory situation. I remember everything as how I see it, where I last saw it, what shelf it was on, what was next to it. Like landmarks are easy for me. Super sweet.
Yeah,
I mean, chocolate tongue cherry. It's really not.
Might be
not super complex, but
orange in there, but
yeah, I could get some orange.
You know, and then I would go with maybe a nutmeg. Nothing crazy, nothing super spicy.
This is good. Already. Before I even break it down, dark chocolate on the palate.
Yes. Cacao, like dry cacao. Cocoa nibs, maybe.
Yes, yeah.
It's just full of that.
It's damn good, y'all. What's the proof on this one?
This
is
is
95 proof. Okay, another 95. Cool.
Am I smelling honey?
Yeah. So you're smelling honey?
Yeah, I feel like I'm smelling the honey.
Yeah. Raw honey.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like, raw honey's not, on the nose, it's not super sweet.
Right, exactly.
Because it's almost waxy.
Yes. And I feel like this is waxy on my waxy feel on my.
Like as if I was like sucking on honeycomb. Not the taste of honeycomb, because I don't taste honey, but texture.
Mm-hmm.
I don't taste honey either. But it's like, I don't taste honey, but I get the texture of honeycomb.
Yeah.
Because I've had like honeycomb remnants just from like taking honey from it or whatever. And that texture, it's not like candle wax at all, but it's still waxy. Wow. It's just lighter.
Those are so different.
Oh yeah, compared to the Stellum.
Yeah.
Two very different.
The Stellum's giving a lot more baking spices.
Yeah.
And a little orange. And the cherries are fresh. They're not like coated or anything.
Yeah. Wow. Two very different expressions.
Yeah.
Of a 95 rye.
That's nice. That's really awesome.
Ooh, I love that. Yeah, this wrap roll's good. This wrap roll's good. I fuck with that. And I like their bottling design and everything.
I do too.
It's such a vibe.
I agree.
It is definitely a vibe.
I really love it.
Like that.
Thou shalt save up sick days? I'm not really sure about this.
Because our schedules vary, it can be difficult for bartenders to make plans, but we do love spontaneous adventures.
True.
Monday beach days or impromptu day trips give us life. Be ready to play. Yeah, and you know what?
This is so true.
I agree with this primarily because just like, for instance, you have Sunday, Monday, Tuesdays off.
I do.
Your average 9 to 5er is not gonna just have those days free to do shit.
Yeah.
So if you want to do a weekend trip, really your weekend starts like Saturday night or Sunday morning into Tuesday.
Yep.
So they would have to actually have some. Nah, I don't know about sick days now, but definitely keep your comp time.
Hopefully you're working
save
on
up
a place
on your
that you can just
vacation
take
days
off.
or whatever. Or just,
I hope you work from home.
it takes a specific. I think it takes a specific type of person to date a career bartender. Anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
I definitely think so. I think it's a person who has to have a lot of flexibility in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
So that was that article, y'all.
Yes.
There was one more The 7 reasons you should never date a bartender. Which I feel like was just written by a hater.
Like, never?
Like, never date a bartender. The first reason was the hours.
Yeah, alright, whatever.
But never? Like, what the fuck? Ryan said 9 to 5 on an entire relationship. We just made it work.
Yeah.
The fuck?
That's true.
Haters. What's the second one for you?
Half of your date nights will be visiting them at work.
No, when I read that, I was like, yeah, that's true. Because she was definitely at SDK like every other day.
Yes, but like, that's not a date.
It's not a date night.
You're visiting me at work. That's it.
Yeah, I'm not calling that a date night. It's not like I get to sit and have a meal with you. Shit, no. I might be able to like throw back a shot while I make you a cocktail. That's not a date.
Yeah.
But whatever. The third one is you may lose your favorite bar.
This is real. So
that is true.
Look, another potential consequence of dating a bartender is that when first off, fuck them.
Exactly.
When you break up, you may feel uncomfortable going back to the bar where they work. Depending on how long you dated, you can usually resume bar visits once there has been an adequate grace period, but it will always be a little awkward, especially if you're there on a date.
First of all, yeah, fuck you with the win, because that's just basically saying you're inevitably gonna not have a successful relationship with a bartender.
Fuck that!
Suck a dick. I'm married.
Oh
okay?
my god.
Plenty of married bartenders.
There's so many married
bartenders.
bartenders.
Fucked up on that one. But also, I mean, I've never broke up with anyone and then had to worry about them coming into the bar I was working at.
Yeah.
I never really had that issue. I've only dated one person I actually met at work. So.
Yeah.
And then by the time I was actually dating them, I wasn't even working at that same bar anymore. So if they went back, I wouldn't give a shit. But I do feel like I've lost some of my favorite bars by breaking up with them as in not working there anymore.
Oh, sure.
It's never been like a relationship thing. But like most bars that I've worked at, I have not been back to. I've only been back to like once after working there.
The only one I really go back to, well, I went back to Dirty Habit recently, and the burger was still good. Yes. And then,
but you go back to Reliable often. So.
I go to Reliable all the time.
That type of spot, though.
I said it last night. I think Reliable's hands down the best bar I've ever been to. Honestly,
it's the best like neighborhood bar ever. It's giving Cheers.
Yes, but like the thing of like, I mean, I was just looking at the ice yesterday and the quality of the citrus.
That's where it's like, that's where Reliable
one of the
in
best
terms
bars in the
of
country.
Environment and then quality of cocktails.
Yeah,
they have a lot of people beat, and I think they'll be able to sustain as long as they stay true to that.
Yeah, and I think Les is doing a great job as the new GM. I think I go in there, of course, and just lay down the law. Like, I got a penicillin last night with no lemon juice.
How the fuck does that work?
New trainee.
Oh, wow.
I was like, it looks like you know what you're doing. And I told him I was teaching him how to pill better. I was
shit.
I go in, because I'm like, I understand the quality of where this place should be.
Yeah.
And Les is doing his job.
You gotta maintain the integrity of the space.
Exactly.
Especially if you're going to continue to go back there. Actually, that's what I need a good little Reliable night. So, one of these nights when you get off at Eaton, I just need to come meet you in DC.
Okay.
After I take the
you can come see me right in my last hour.
Yeah, and then we can go to Reliable. That's what we need to do.
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
Perfect. So, y'all get some sort of catch up on one of those nights soon.
Number 4, you need to be very trusting or have clear boundaries. This should be a thing. Why is this a reason?
Period.
Why is this a reason why you should never
period.
date me, though?
Exactly. First of all, that sounds like something that should happen in a relationship period. You need to be very trusting or have clear boundaries. So basically, 7 reasons to never date a bartender if you're insecure as fuck and if you don't tend to have successful relationships.
Yeah.
That you need to extend that title because this is for a very specific type of person.
Like,
if these are concerns for you,
are you not trying to be very trusting and
have clear boundaries? Like, if you don't want those type of things, and that doesn't appeal to you, you probably
don't come around here.
Don't date.
Because I'm going to be trusting and also have clear boundaries.
My boundaries are super
regardless.
My middle name is Boundaries.
Like, period.
The fuck?
Period. They're not the same at work as they are at home. Ooh, this is so true.
That's very true.
If you met me at the bar, expect a totally different person
at home.
What? totally, but like I still will still drink good.
Yeah.
You'll still have a great hospitable nature with me, but I want to be quiet. I want to stare at a screen.
Yeah, I want to shut my brain off at home.
Yeah,
a lot of the time.
So the thing for me that I find hard with being in a relationship and being a very social bartender person is that I have to be on 24 hours now because I have to be on at the bar. Then I need to come home and you need
to be on.
You need me to be attentive and into you and concerned, and it's a lot for me. Personally, I'm personally for Kapri Robinson, she needs to come home and not think about a goddamn thing. And so I find that it makes me have to now overexert myself into so many different ways, and I can't do it yet. Of course there would be somebody that I will want to do that for, but
it's a lot. I'm a very hospitable person in general. I really like to entertain, which means I'm typically cooking something, I'm typically shaking or stirring something. Yeah. But I'm learning the art of pre-batching things, so that I'm not like working like a crazy person in my own fucking house.
Yeah.
Definitely have learned some ways to make entertaining more enjoyable for myself, so that I'm not feeling like I'm at work.
But also just like the emotional part of it, the drainage that work already has with talking to all these people, giving your energy to so many people, and having to do that.
Having to bite your tongue on a lot of things.
And then coming home and then like, oh, this person also needs me to be this and this for them to be okay, and the person that I love, I don't want to hurt them because I'm ready to be silent and shut the world off. Like, it's like it's such a big thing.
It's like it helps to have a partner who can like sit quiet with you.
Yeah, like hopefully you have also a loud ass job.
Yeah, or at least just after a full day, you're ready to just kind of.
Let me just sit.
Just chill too. Like you're able to have to chill. I can't stand a motherfucker that has to fill the space with words.
Woo!
I don't need that.
I don't need it.
I don't do small talk for a reason. Some people might find it to be awkward. I never find it to be awkward. If somebody is
bad at small talk,
I'm really bad at it. Like, people who don't know you or whatever, and they're like, "Oh yeah, how you doing?"
I was talking to somebody about this. I was literally like,
"I'm good," or "I'm okay."
I was like, recently, seriously, I was recently.
I'm not gonna ask you. I really know what it is.
I'm having to tell myself at work, like, oh, this person somehow is really interested in my life and wants to talk about it, but I'm not good at so where you from? I'm from nowhere, really. And then I'll just stare off.
Me too.
And then I'm thinking to myself, as I turn off Kapri,
yeah,
they're looking for a good bartender conversation. Please say something else. So I look back at him like, because this is what it is. And then I'm like, I have to constantly do this because I'm confused on why you, who probably, I hope you come back. It's so much. I hope you do come back, but like, stop asking me about my life until you come back for the fourth time.
Yeah.
Then you're a regular, and now I want to talk to you about my life, and now we can catch up. But if you're just here for one time,
a relationship with your bartender, like. Don't just think I'm looking.
How did you get into this?
Because I'm also probably not curious about you the second you walk in. Unless something happens or you say something or I notice something that's interesting. But like, other than that, I'm not going to ask you a bunch of questions about your shit. If you came in by yourself, you just looking at a cocktail, I'm not going to assume that means you're looking for conversation. Because when I come and sit at a bar by myself, I'm not necessarily looking for conversation. If I am, I'll start one. And it'll be very specific. It's not.
I will start with.
How about that sunshine today? I don't give a fuck about that. Not enough to discuss it.
It's weird how much we talk about the weather.
It's awkward. It's because people just can't stand silent.
We don't have to talk.
They can't sit with their own thoughts and just.
I'm okay making you a drink, asking you how it was, and then staring off. I will probably stand in front of you and stare a different way.
And I prefer it that way. Because it's exhausting to have to converse.
So this is what I'm saying. So for especially an audience of people that are coming back out of the pandemic, these motherfuckers want to connect. They really do. And I'm like, I'm okay. So I literally have to tell Kapri, this is how you create regulars. This is how you get good reviews. Just talk to them. I'm like, so yeah, this is what's happening. It doesn't matter. You don't care. You really don't care. But here I am having to make this fucking small talk.
I'm so mad I can't do the fake smile. If you make a joke, if it's not funny,
well,
I cannot.
The good thing about mask is that the smile
you don't have to do the fake smile anymore. I love it. I love it so much.
It's as fake as possible.
I can at least try to lie with my eyes. Give
You're watching
squint,
YouTube. It looks like
smiling
this.
and laughing. No.
And then I don't think people. I have very intense eyes, I think, for some people. Mm-hmm. So, like, when they're isolated and I'm like, are you okay? And they can't hear me, I'm like this. And their faces are always like, are you okay? Is everything okay? Number 6, alcohol will likely be a part of your relationship. Yeah, we talked about this in the last article.
First of all, they're basically just regurgitating shit and framing it differently in each article. Because this is the same platform that at least the previous one and this one. So they essentially just waited 2 years later and regurgitated the same information and just framed it negatively.
Is it the same person? Because it sounds like
that's a great question.
Sounds like oh my god, it is. Okay, this is exactly what happened.
So she just recycled. So basically, her editor was like, "Give me something else on bartenders."
And what happened was she was dating a bartender and was like, "This is how I navigate this," and then it fucked up. And then she's taking it out.
She's upset
in this article.
Oh, sis, you hurt sis. He hurt you in the middle of the pandemic because this one was 2020.
It sound like it.
That's hilarious. Okay, girl. Heal your heart, sis. I hope
personal.
You feel better.
It sounds very personal, Melissa.
It's getting real personal. What's the last one? You must love a loose leash. So, bitch, you just insecure.
This bitch just tripping.
Shawty is insecure.
Yeah, we're not even gonna
She wants her dude or woman. We're not gonna assume we know what you like. She wants her person on a leash. Clearly, you're not a bartender, and you like to date them, but you don't like the lifestyle that comes with that. Well, girl.
Oh, she said we. Maybe she's a bartender. Maybe she's on the other side.
So maybe from reverse.
She's like,
she's salty because of like all the maybe they were just too insecure and all that extra shit, and she's salty about the fact that she
take out insecure asses somewhere else.
Take insecure asses
I would not.
And girl, you need to date someone who gets it. Yeah, don't date people who don't get life. Don't get it.
Next,
it's just too much.
Number 4.
Exactly.
Number 4.
This is my number 4. Really good. So number 4 that we're tasting, y'all, is Sagamore. We're taking it local, Baltimore. Dang. I fucking love the whole lineup. First of all, I have the standard, I have the double oaked, I have the cask strength, but this one was finished in tequila barrels.
Oh, okay.
You know I love a special finish.
You do.
I live for a special finish. Let me pull up. Let me see what information.
Y'all immediately forget vanilla, banana cream.
Banana. I was just gonna say it's like dessert banana.
Vanilla cake.
So this is their distiller select.
Ice cream. Wow.
Yes, Briars.
Wow. For real though.
So they finished the straight rye in extra añejo tequila barrels.
Oh.
So this means it spent well over a year in some tequila barrels. So, the tequila spent time in the barrel well over a year.
Yeah.
For it to be extra añejo. So they don't say how long they finished the rye in.
Because Reposado is 3 to 6 months. 6 months to a year is añejo.
Year plus extra añejo.
Boom, 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 dropping knowledge every episode. Wow, that smells amazing. Okay,
vanilla, honey. I get orange flesh.
Yes.
Tiny bit of spice. Ooh, apple. This will make a nice fall cocktail.
Wow.
Can't wait.
Oh God, people really love fall cocktails.
Yeah, they do.
I love my favorite area of fall cocktails. I like their tastiest
summer cocktails, and I love fall cocktails.
Fall cocktails, they're so easy to do. Don't get me wrong though. Like I like the spices, but then it's just over.
It's too much regurgitation of the same shit.
Same flavors.
I love a good cinnamon, but I like cinnamon all year.
That's why.
So that I don't call that a fall flavor, but I know that it's amplified. When I say fall, like I like breaking out the pears and the Honeycrisp apples. I like playing with mulling spices. I love wintertime. I love playing with pomegranates.
Yeah.
Like I love playing with yuzu and like all the winter citrus.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So this was aged a total of 4 to 5 years. Just
okay. And what
98 proof.
Okay, not bad.
Not bad. Ain't do so bad today. together. You taste that tequila influence.
Yeah, earthy.
I was gonna say that earthiness for sure. Oh, that's good. It's like the ghost of tequila.
A lot better than Chattanooga.
Sorry,
Chattanooga.
At the end.
That Chattanooga tequila finish is not good. Not like that.
You like it? I wasn't mad at it, but I like this better.
Oh, I'm fucking up. Not the Chattanooga. It was the
Bull Run.
Yes.
And that was also really high proof.
Yeah.
Too. That's what I like the Chattanooga. I even like the Bull Run, but of those 3 finishes,
yeah,
I like this one's first for me, Chattanooga's second, Bull Run's third. Yeah, this is good. Okay, so I'm getting orange oils as opposed to flesh on the palate.
I'm getting oleo.
As in saccharin.
So like when the peels sit in sugar. Not the oleo sub, but like right before it's transitioning, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. Where that oil just starts to creep out of the peel. Ooh, that's probably a note that most only bartenders probably won't get.
Sorry, y'all.
Sorry, non-bartenders. That's a hard one to explain.
That is it's really hard to explain.
So oleosaccharin just means oily sugar. And it's essentially what happens when you put citrus peels in sugar, cover it, and just let it sit. Science will just do the rest. And it creates this really nice, like, concentrated citrus flavor through the sugar.
Yes.
And it's a nice alternative to, like, making it a simple syrup.
Yes.
It dissolves a little easier because it's already got that oil content. And then you also, like, you don't have to worry about muddling peels or expressing them. I mean, you can still express your peels, obviously, but you don't have to worry about muddling your peel or anything in the shaker because you've already got the essences from that peel in your sugar.
And it's also just a different taste, like having the oils and not just like a juice or something or water and sugar together. It's just a different feel of the syrup and a different taste. It's
another expression of the same flavor.
Yeah.
So it's
how many different things can you make oleos out of? Is it only citrus?
Well, I would argue that depending on how quickly you remove your strawberries, you can make an oleo out of strawberries. Because all I do to make my simple syrup is just let strawberries sit in sugar for at least 2 days. Yeah. For it to become straight, like, liquid. Yeah. But if I only let it sit in there for maybe a few hours or so, it'll be just a concentrated strawberry sugar. Yeah. And I can leave it like that and keep it up. I would just have to take the actual strawberries out. Yeah. But yeah, you could do it with that. I wonder if you could do that with, like, I kind of want to make like a blueberry sugar. Like, just crush the blueberries a little bit, stir it in the sugar, and let it sit in the fridge and just see what happens. It's going to be an experiment. Keep y'all posted on that. That sounds really good, though. I love blueberries. On the palate?
I also want a dehydrator.
Girl, this is such a worth it investment. So
tobacco
I use my
at the end.
I was going to say, there's a spice here, but it's not peppercorn. So it's the tobacco.
Does that make sense?
Because it's a spice that goes right into a little bit of like acidity and like something that makes your mouth water. But I can see how tobacco could do that.
It's kind of just like that.
Yeah,
that pup that
like
you just had your sip.
where your mouth waters right before it becomes dry.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like that.
Right there.
But it's delicious. Don't get me wrong. Don't let that description determine.
No.
This is delicious.
No, it's delicious. Tobacco's not bad,
depending on where it's expressed. Yeah. Like, I don't smoke tobacco worth a damn. Yeah. But I don't mind its presence as a note in spirits. Right. Because really all that's coming from is the wood. It's not like somebody's dipping tobacco in whiskey. Mm-mm. That's good. Mm-hmm. Yes, Sagamore. I'm never disappointed with y'all.
What we got on this?
Who child?
Our last
now, y'all, we ain't got nowhere to eat lately.
We did not eat anywhere.
So we're probably not going to tell you where we're eating right now. We're going to save that for next time.
Delicious Cajun shrimp pasta. Mm-hmm. It's so good. I have pictures.
First of all, I love when Kapri cooks for me because it doesn't happen often.
It doesn't.
But she made that goddamn Cajun pasta when we was in Florida, y'all. As a quick off the humble, like quick drink. Oh, we got this. Oh, yeah, I can make this.
I literally was in bed. I was like,
so good.
My eyes open. I want Cajun pasta.
That shit was so fucking good. So
I looked
she
at
said
the
she
recipe.
makes
We
Cajun
had
pasta,
so much
y'all.
of the ingredients. It was crazy.
It was perfect. That shit was delicious. So by next time we'll have well, I ain't gonna tell y'all timeline, but by next time we'll have some we eat because we're gonna go to a couple places. So
yes.
But in terms of our next topic to talk about, nostalgia. Nostalgia and how too much of anything is bad.
Yes.
But particularly how too much nostalgia and too much emphasis on the past and romanticizing the past, I feel like it is really holding back creativity. I feel like it's become a crutch for like not being innovative, really. Just not being innovative at all. And that can be applied to so many categories of life, to be honest, but we'll keep it specific because we're already
I disagree.
Really?
So this is why I thought this was a great article.
Yeah, we
I did not
read this
agree.
article.
I did not agree with the article as a whole. I understood exactly what it's talking about, and so it's it's by Punch. You guys will see it at the end, bottom in the description. But cocktail culture has a nostalgia problem, right? And it pretty much is talking about how we are romanticizing the time before Prohibition and those recipes and different things like that, and like just a little bit out of Prohibition is what you'll see. And what I thought was great to learn from this, American bartenders really fantasizing and not fantasizing, but romanticizing.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a great insight because I never thought about how bartenders outside the country don't give a fuck about
the Prohibition
cocktails.
because for them it's not.
It didn't happen.
Like the Prohibition didn't happen anywhere else. That's why bartenders who fled, or people generally who fled to Europe or whatever, who made their living off of. And I think that might be a good chunk of why we don't have access to a ton of American history on Black bartenders' contribution to the industry period, but also the craft of cocktails, because
it happened
when it happened, it was nobody was highlighting this as a craft, as an art. It was just a service.
Also, they just didn't give a shit.
It was just they didn't give a shit about it. It was just us providing a service that they needed because they were about to make their own drinks.
That's true.
And then once the Prohibition hit, these people who are making this is their career, free slaves or whatever.
Yeah.
And I might be jumping, parts of the timeline here, but I'm not about to get into history lesson, y'all people. So, but those people who continue to make a career of crafting cocktails were not doing it in the U.S.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think a good chunk of those people were probably Black. Those who were able to make a career off of it by their freedom, by their family's freedom, probably had enough to hop on a boat and make their way to Europe to survive and sustain. And so that history is not going to be documented in American history because it didn't happen here.
Absolutely.
And they probably never bothered to come back.
That's actually really awesome to think about is what is the Black bartender history
There's such
in
a
other
gap
countries.
in we hear about the same 4 or 5 people.
It's such a gap.
We hear about the Cato Alexanders, we hear about the Tom Bullocks, we hear about the John Dabneys, we hear but it's maybe 5 people that we hear about. We recycle those same vague stories of this very vague, what we know is a very colorful, storied, I know it's got to be interesting point in time in this the building of this particular segment of hospitality. Literally built on the same backs that built this country. And we don't have a lot to show for it in terms of reference and reverence, and that just bothers me so much. It's crazy. It bothers me so much.
It's a lot, and I also think that I want to do somehow, some way, do a deep dive in HBCU records and HBCU or Black written works of newspapers and stuff like that. Because there has to be more in there. Like talking about your local bars, your local Black-owned bars and stuff like that. There has to be more information in there.
Right? I feel like there's just...
Because right now we're talking about the Black men that were written by that were acknowledged by white people. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not saying we need, because that person probably exists and has probably got their nose deep dived in some dusty books right now. But, our Black cocktail cocktail historian, right? Like, you know how people were like just revere Dale DeGroff or you know Jim Meehan or whoever for like their cocktail history knowledge and their cocktail culture history knowledge, whatever. But we just need that.
That's right in it.
Focused on
because
the
history of
black
is
cocktail culture.
Like, he's amazing. If you
With that, oh, I already know.
Yeah.
Every conversation with it is like a history lesson.
Ooh.
For sure.
He's great, but he's not.
But he's not also not putting
Writing
it all
it or
in
writing
books.
books. I hope he's putting a book
I hope
together.
so.
Shit.
I buy that shit. Please make a coffee
Shit.
table book because I'm looking for a new one.
Dwayne, Sylvester, we need you to write a book.
We need you to write a book.
But why I don't agree with this full on is because I do believe that there is so many classic and modern classic cocktails that people actually don't know that you can derive. They're all skeletons, right? We know that these structures of these type of cocktails work, right? We know that this type of citrus to sugar to booze to bitter to sugar ratio breakdown works. Now from there though, you have to expand.
Just all the branches, yeah.
Right, you know? So like that citrus can be split into different citruses you've never heard of before. That sugar ratio can be split into different ways of making syrups and or liqueurs or like that's where I think it all comes down to. But I think once you like, you know, break down a cocktail to its rawest form, it always comes back to a classic cocktail style.
Yeah. I agree with all that. What I mainly took from this, just in terms of where I agree with the article, is like I'm just sick of seeing a Manhattan on every cocktail menu. I feel like certain classics no longer need to be on the menu.
I agree.
I feel like it's lazy.
It's lazy. They're call drinks now.
I know how to make Manhattan if you call it a Manhattan. I know how to make an old fashioned. I don't need you to sell me on an Angels Envy old fashioned on your menu. If I see Angels Envy on the bar and I'm in the mood for an old fashioned, I can just tell you I want that.
I think it's so funny you said that because I don't think guests are there yet.
Well,
they come in and they literally say, they look through the menu and they go, "Can you make an old fashioned?" And I'm like, "Wow, you should." Looking at this bar, I
can't wait. I don't know if that day is ever going to come, but I can't wait till the day that stops.
Well,
but it's also those bartenders who can't though. So it's like customers are having a diverse cocktailing experience, unless you're going to the same bars that you can count on all the time, which bartenders tend to do because we like to not have to do the work for you once we're sitting on that other side. I know I'm a person of habit too. If I know I like to just go there. But the average customer, the average consumer likes to diversify. They're going to try the new spot. They're going to try something they heard of or whatever. So yeah. If they're testing the waters for that first time, I was like, don't ask me, can I? Just order it, and if I can't make it, you'll be able to tell.
Yeah.
Don't ask me, can I? I'm offended already. Like, girl, you see the same thing.
Absolutely.
Fashion.
Absolutely.
Like, girl. Come on, girl.
I sure can.
Cherry or no cherry? Like, fuck out of here, dog. Now, I've absolutely been to some spots where the nostalgia shit has just gone too far, where they're still muddling cherry and fucking orange slice in some club soda.
And you can do nostalgia wrong, right? Like
holding on.
Love you,
to that
but
shit.
never look better, dude. I mean, you're not doing it right.
They were in a very specific point. They stayed their ass right there in the early '90s, where shit was full of syrup. And there wasn't as an emphasis on the finesse of the cocktail and just the balance and the like perfecting that part, which has been very beautifully perfected over the years. Like that like emphasis on balance, completely out the window.
Yeah.
It's neon lights and fruity shit for you, and you're gonna enjoy it. You're gonna pay me premium prices for it. Was basically their approach.
Yeah.
Great spot though. Still love the vibe.
I love the vibe.
Still love the vibe. Haven't been back to see if that vibe is maintained. But I will be back. It has?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. The last time you went, bitch, somebody tell me.
After I went to Dirty Habit. So last week.
Are they open weeknights or just weekends?
Thursday. It was a Wednesday.
Was it Wednesday? So they open weeknights.
No, it was a Thursday. It was a Wednesday.
I wouldn't mind going on a Thursday.
It was either Thursday or Wednesday. I don't remember.
Okay, well, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad they're maintaining the vibe.
Let's go into this last sip.
Yeah, so our last sip is love this one. New Riff, one of my faves.
Yes.
They're Balboa Rye. So this is kind of like one of their specialty releases because they have a single barrel rye and they have a bottle and bond rye, which are two of their flagships. This one is, I believe, like a yearly release. This is another 95.5.
Okay.
So the 95 is Heirloom Balboa Rye. So that is a very specific type of rye.
It does sound very specific.
And the 5% is not malted barley, it is malted rye.
Wow.
So
that
it's 100%
really cool.
rye, but two types of rye.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so. And this was 100 proof. So we stayed pretty relatively low proof. Well, in my world, this is considered low proof. So we stayed relatively low proof this time. Already off bugs, I love the smell. I get the chocolate undertone.
That water opened up so much.
Let me do a little droplet.
Wow. I got a little strawberry going on for me. Bright red berries.
Open me up. Pause.
Honey.
Oh, honey off bugs.
Wow. Like almost a floral honey. Did you get a little
wildflower honey?
Well, kind of just like fresh grass.
I get the fresh grass for sure. Like fresh cut grass?
Yeah. Wow. Outside. It's giving like you're
It's giving outside. It's giving outside and you like dabbed honey on yourself.
Yes.
Like I just got done working outside in the yard. But I'm wearing essence of honey.
I think the flowers I had might have been lilies.
Like white flowers.
Yeah, but when they were blooming, they had a certain scent to it, and this is
full bloom.
It's giving that. Wow.
When I kind of graze it across both, I get the flower when I go side to side.
Yeah.
So a little smelling note for people. You'll actually start to activate some completely different notes when you just kind of move your glass side to side across your nose. You don't have to dig your nose in the glass. You're actually not going to smell as much doing it that way. Just go side to side from nostril to nostril and just let it waft. Love wafting. But it works and it opens up some completely different notes than you would get than if you just stayed completely concentrated in that middle of that glass.
I think I'm getting that tobacco again.
It's just the smell. Sometimes I get so caught up in the smell.
Chocolate orange.
It's giving that orange flavored chocolate. Like, you know, they had that candy?
Yep.
The ball?
Yep.
Where it's that concentrated orange?
Yep.
And then the milk chocolate, you crack it, there's usually something inside. It's giving that.
Yep. I agree.
Speaking of nostalgia, I used to love that candy. That's good. Definitely tobacco. Very dry, like tobacco leaf.
Very dry. Cinnamon.
Very dry cinnamon. Like ground cinnamon this time. Because it comes in
honey
when the texture changes.
Yep.
Yeah, the honey's still there. It's almost like if I ran honey through the barrel. It tastes like that.
Yeah. Exactly. No, exactly.
Because that oak influence is there at the same time that the honey is. It's cool. I love Balboa Rye. I've already had this, so I already know I liked it, but
my time is going down because I have to go to work.
Girl, yes.
But
day in the life.
I know. Thank you all.
This was great, y'all.
Yeah.
We'll tell you what we're eating later.
We will tell you where we're eating later.
But I feel like we gave y'all plenty to sip on with these topics.
Yes, we did. So I really
which one's your favorite?
Because
we're gonna exit out with that one.
Oh, that's hard. I think the New Riff hit my favorite, and then second behind that is gonna be the Sagamore.
Mine too. Ooh, okay, let's double back to Sagamore.
Let's get back to Sags. Sagging. Well, thank you all for another episode of Soul Palate.
Yes.
This is going to be a great journey. I can't wait for you all to see us grow, quality grow. We have an animated logo now.
That's just so good. I feel like every time there's going to be something new, different added to this.
It will never stop.
Just keep listening, keep watching, y'all.
Cheers to you.
We love y'all already.
Yes.
Yes, that sounds perfect. All right, cheers. Bye.
Cheers, y'all. Bye.